All right, welcome back to my channel. Great Minds. We'll be continuing where we stopped yesterday. Yesterday we started Adobe Photoshop, and I believe we learned something from our first class we had. Today we'll be continuing with where we stopped yesterday. We did a brief introduction of the application called Photoshop. And of course, we started by introducing from the very first beginning where the toolbox. So we'll continue where we stopped. We were able to know how to trim picture from background, then exporting it or saving it maybe in any of the location, be it desktop or maybe document, then importing it to CorelDRAW for designs. So today we'll be continuing where we stopped, and then we'll be looking at this magic wand tool and their functions. All right. Let's assume like if I'm to minimize, this is the working area or workable area, okay? If I'm to maximize or minimize it, of course I'll hold down my alternative, then use the scroll bar, the middle of my mouse, in between the left and right click. So you see it zooming in or zooming out, or you press your Z, okay? Or you come to your toolbox and pick it from there. You see it Z there. So let's continue where we stop. Yesterday we used lasso tool, polygonal lasso tool, and magnetic lasso tool, okay? And all these things, these three things you see here, basically their work is just to trim out a background from a picture or just to cut off something. All right. And I reminded us that anytime you want to make use of any imported picture on Photoshop, the first thing you need to do, you need to rasterize by pressing your E, okay? And a dialog box will show where you click on OK. Then you can now continue to work on it, right? All right, today we'll be continuing where we stopped. Please, if you are new to this channel, do well to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for subsequent video. And I want us to pay a very good attention to today's class because we learn a whole lot of things today. Okay, let's assume I have this picture here. Okay, let's assume I have this picture here. Okay, you can just drag, all right, drag and drop. Of course, you press enter. Okay, means enter means for you to okay it. Now, I told us before, you cannot do anything if you don't rasterize the picture by pressing E. Once you press E, then something like this, your mouse will turn to something like this, and you click on it, and you see a command that says this smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Okay, edit content will no longer be available. Rasterize the smart object. You click on OK. All right. So it means we can now work on this very picture. Okay, we can work on this because it's now um unlocked here. All right. So we'll continue where we stopped. Today we'll be looking at this object selection tool. Okay, of course in all these you'll be seeing WW. You can pick any of them. All right. So let's see what this one is all about. Once I click on it, okay, once I click on this object selection tool, let's see what happens. I'll draw this. Although before now the target, okay, my target is just to trim this picture totally from this background, right? And the picture started from here and ended somewhere here. Of course, the chair is still showing. So what I need to do, I can just start from where the picture started and maybe end it here, okay? And I'll just leave it. Once I drag and drop, I'll leave it, and you discover that those dotted line rounding, constantly rounding anywhere you selected, you see it here. Of course, you can see what is happening here. Now you know that the disadvantage of this very object selection tool is this: it may not give you exactly what you really want to trace. Okay, you just be seeing it being halfway. Okay, but the idea is just for you to know what it's all about. And the question now says, let's assume this is not part of the picture, it's part of the background. Then why is it added? The question is, you can remove it as well. Okay, so what you still need to do is to go back to your polygonal lasso tool and pick this your polygonal lasso tool. Of course, I have told us yesterday that I like using the polygonal lasso tool, sorry, because is the easiest tool from these two box I use in trimming my pictures if need be it. So what I need to do in a situation whereby you don't want, if the computer selected additional background from your picture, what you need to do is, once you pick this your polygonal lasso tool, what you need to do is to hold your alternative. Once you press down your alternative, you discover that the mouse, there is a minus sign by the down right side of the mouse pointer you're seeing on your system, on your screen. So what you need to do, just press down the alternative, then select the particular place you don't want it to be among what you've selected, then just double click, you see it will disappear, right? So same thing happens in any place. Like this is part of here, and it's not part of this very picture. What I need to do is, I can just start from where I want it to remove or to extract the very place I want the background to be extracted. Okay, so what I need to do, I'll just come this way, come this way, come this way. It means here automatically will just go off. Okay, because assuming I use it to enter inside here, you discover that is this particular, if I press down this alternative and just select from here, all right, you agree with me that it will extract or it will exempt this particular hand of this man in this picture. So what I need to do is to Control Z. Okay, of course Control Z is to undo. So same thing what I'll continue doing. I'll repeat this same action by pressing alternative, okay, and like that. So, and one may ask this question, in a situation whereby there's something, I ended up extracting this very hand of this man's picture, and maybe it was a mistake, and I noticed that I've done that mistake, and I never remember doing Control Z. What else do I need to do to bring it back? What I need to do, I'll still pick this my polygonal lasso tool, then hold shift. Okay, in CorelDRAW, shift is multi-select, meaning selecting more than one items. Okay, that is for shift. So I'm doing it now here in this Photoshop. Shift is adding a selected um aspect or portion of maybe a picture or any other thing. So what I need to do, once I double click on it, you discover that it has been added. How do you know if you are removing or you are adding? If you press down your shift key, the mouse pointer you're seeing on screen will have this plus sign by the down right side of it. And if you press this to alternative, you see it as minus sign. It means you are extracting, okay? You are removing. Minus means removing and plus means you are adding. So the idea here now is, I just want to show us what the first thing we've picked, how it works. Okay, if I need to add this, I will hold my shift. Okay, I'll add this up. Now the idea here now is, let's assume I'm done with this and I need to extract this very picture from this background. What do I need to do? I'll press down my Control J. Control J means it will just duplicate this very thing you're seeing. Watch what happens here. Watch what happens here where we have this layer. Okay, watch this layer here. Once I press my Control J, what the computer will do is, the picture remains the way it is, but it has removed the selected area. That is the selected picture we selected from this very picture we inserted here. It will only extract only the selected place where we selected. So what I need to do is, I can hide. I told us yesterday that this what is it called, this eyes is to show, okay, or to hide. Now remember, I press Ctrl J. Ctrl J command is to duplicate. Okay, anytime you have done something, maybe you try cropping out a picture from a background. Okay, once you finish, you can just press Ctrl J and the something will just duplicate it for you. So of course we have a new layer. Now this was the former picture the way it is before, and now that I've pressed my Ctrl J, if I hide the main picture itself, you discover that it has come without what background. Okay, so this is what we have. It has come without background. All right, I think same thing we need to do for the second um toolbox we have. And the second toolbox says quick selection tool. So let's see what happens here in quick selection tool. Once I click on it, watch what happens. Quick selection tool is you have to click, hold down your left click and drag it. Okay, watch what is happening. Of course, in a picture like this, you may not enjoy the quick selection tool. Of course, there are some pictures you bring more, especially when you have picture that has just one background. You will enjoy this quick selection tool. Let's see if we have something like that here in my download. Let me check if we have I think we used one picture yesterday that has just one background. Okay. Okay, we used this picture yesterday. Let me drag it in again and see. It's coming. So what I need to do, I will hide now. I will hide this one. Okay. And one good thing about this is for the fact that you just inserted this picture and it has overwrite the one that we have before, it's because it's actually on top of the one we have before. But if you really want this one we have before to be at the top, what you need to do is to drag it up. Okay, you see it will now come in front of it. So now this is just where you can play around which one you want it to come first before any of them. So what you need to do, I will bring it back because I want to work with this one that has one background. I want us to see when to use any of this. Okay, you're supposed to know when to use the object selection tool and the quick selection tool. And I think this is a picture that has just one background. Of course, I don't need to, of course, I have to rasterize by pressing down my E, right? And I'll click OK, right? Fine, it is open now. Now I don't need to begin to go through this my polygonal lasso tool, okay, to begin to trim like I did yesterday. Okay, there are better ways and easier ways of getting this background removed from getting this picture removed from this background. So that is why we are treating these two box one after another, just the way we did in corridor during our corridor tutorial class. All right. So please, I still want to welcome newcomers, and if you are new to this channel, do well to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And don't forget to share to friends and families, those that may want to learn graphic design. Of course, you learn a whole lot because graphics gives money. Okay, and once you end up learning this, you agree with me that you will be achieving something and you'll be happy doing what you know how to do best. Okay, so thank you and welcome back. So the next thing we have here now is the quick selection tool. Let's see if quick selection tool will work in this one background. So once I click and drag, watch what happens. You see it's selecting exactly, now it has extracted exactly the background. Yesterday we used the polygonal lasso tool. Now today I've used quick selection tool, but of course we have some lapses here. What are the lapses? Look at it here. What you need to do, of course, you hold shift. Um, of course, you hold alternative, sorry, because you need to minus. Okay, while shift is extracting, that is removing, and alternative is adding. Okay. And of course, once I'm done with this, the next thing I need to do is to press my Control J. Of course, it will just duplicate it. Now, watch what happens. Now, I press Control J. Now, instead of it to duplicate the picture, either the something end up duplicating the what? Duplicating the very place where it's selected. What was the problem here? So let's get this thing done. You remember that this very area was only where we selected. Okay, this very area was only where we selected, and this picture is the target that we really want. Oh, this is what we need. Okay, so instead of me pressing that Ctrl J, of course I want to delete this picture from this very this background from this very picture. Just what I need to do is to press my delete key, and you discover that it has been deleted. Okay, so I want us to get this thing very, very clear. We pressed Ctrl J because we only selected this picture from this whole background. I mean the first the first picture we used. Okay, that is this, before we were able to extract this very picture from there. Remember what we did here. The reason why I pressed the Ctrl J was after using this of object selection tool to select everything here. Remember, it's only selected just the picture, and that is the reason why we pressed Ctrl J. But in the case of this, okay, in the case of this, the something selected the background alone. So it means if it select the background alone, of course I don't need the background. Only what I need to do is I'll just press my delete. I'll just delete the background. And mind you, we have all these things here. We need to work on all this. I'll now hold shift right to add up this very side. Okay. I will now add, I'm holding down my shift key to add up this side. Now watch what happens. Now in the situation of selecting, now I want us to get something. In this situation of using this quick selection tool, the minus, watch, the shift key, once you pick your polygonal laser tool, the shift key is actually minusing, that is removing a particular place where you selected. Watch what happens. Watch. Alright, it has now extract this very point automatically. We are supposed to press alternative in this case, alternative now showing minus now, but in the case of this quick selection tool, it will add it instead of removing it. So while practicing it, you just do it and you see what I'm saying. Alright, it works. Now what works for object selection tool is not what works for quick selection tool, but the idea is have it in mind that shift and alternative is what we can use to add a particular part of the picture, or to remove a particular part of the picture from the main background. So same thing is what I'll continue doing here. I've picked my polygonal lasso to remove this very background from where we have this eyeglass. Now is what is happening. Okay, so I'll do same thing here. Then after that, what I need to do, of course, I'll add this up. Okay, I'll add this up, right? So what I need to do, I'll just press delete. Once I press delete, it has deleted the background. Okay, and of course we have this, right? So that is it for the quick selection tool. Now the last one we have is that of magic tool. Magic tool and quick selection tool, they equally work almost the same thing. Simply what magic one tool does here is just to automatically remove the background. It will not, you don't even have you don't need to begin to drag this from where we have the picture, or begin to pick your quick selection, dragging your mouse, okay, around where we have the picture. The very easiest way, of course, is this magic one tool. Once you press it, automatically it will select the area. And in one background, in a picture that has one background, quick selection to magic one tool is the easiest and the most commonly used tool that we use in removing background, because it will not stress you. Of course, watch what happens. Quick. And even in this quick selection tool, if you remember, you discover that this hand was actually cutting, but in this magic one tool, you discover that the hand never cut. Okay, so what I need to do is master I'll just need to crop out the remaining parts that refuse to go out. Okay, of course, if you still come back here and use your quick magic one tool, you discover that it may not actually give you a cut, because it will cut some part of the man's face. So what I need to do, I advise that what you need to do is to come back to your polygonal lasso tool and try to trim the picture, okay, yourself like this, right? So you try to trim the picture yourself like this, and there we go. Okay, so same thing happens here. Of course, if you don't want to trim it, you don't want to waste your time, since this is just one background, what I need to do is to pick my what magic one tool, okay, and it will select it automatically. But one of the disadvantage of some of this, okay, it may not actually select the background where it ended. Okay, not select the background where it ended, as you can see what is happening here. It has never selected it where it ended. What I need to do is I can pick my polygonal lasso to hold my alternative, then add the words, add this background to it. Okay, I'll hold my shift either, then I'll add this background to it, and before you know, it will be added. Then what I need to do is to press what? The delete key, and it will be deleted. Okay, so I believe we have been able to know how to use our object selection tool, quick selection tool, and magic selection tool, when and how we are to use these tools. Okay, now as you can see what is happening, this is very, very great. All right, and of course, we can as well save it and still import it, be it CorelDRAW or any other graphics application software that you may want to use this picture on. Please do well to stay put, and I would like to see you in my next video. Thank you for constantly viewing my channel, and have a blessed day ahead. Bye for now.